Hello world, hello beautiful collective. This is the next video in our new wave 5D living mini course, and this is all about supporting you in grasping the most important aspects of a 5D lifestyle, so to speak, and starting to applying it in your everyday practical life. So this is Vishnupriya Aristo and myself, Sabrina Lindner, the founders of NuWave Leadership. We are going to take you through the next beautiful topic for today, which is following your excitement, or as we love to say in our 5D language, following where the energy points us to, or going where the energy points us to. So I let Vishnupriya explain a little more about what that actually means for your everyday life. Over to you, Vishnupriya.
Absolutely. Following your excitement is, I feel, is one of the major pieces, major pillars of our 5D life. That's where the major, crux of it is there. So this can be applied in all different areas of your life, and we will also give you some examples around it. But let's just start with business, so to speak. Let's say you are in a business or a particular career profession that you are in. So here, how you apply following your excitement is, in our case, since our business is also a so-called 5D business, where we kind of do things randomly every day, depending on where the energy points us to. But for example, if you are in a profession, kind of a strict profession where you have 9 to 5 jobs, so to speak, and you have set of things that you are supposed to do, even that kind of a framework, you can still fit in following your excitement. If there is, for example, 10 different things that you have to complete on that particular day, you can simply be in that question of, okay, now what really excites me to do? Out of these 10 different things, there could be one thing that I really love to do at this moment. First, let me just go ahead and do that. But it's not about, oh, this is high priority because I have to get this done by this deadline, or whatever other reasons that we usually function from. That's not where it comes from. The question really is, what excites me at this present moment? How can I feel that excitement? Which among these 10 different things is the one that gives me the highest level of excitement? This is what I really feel like doing at this moment, right? So we function from that question of what truly excites me. So that's a quick example from a business or from a career perspective. Let's move into relationships. Now, when it comes to relationships, I have found that there is so-called, a lot of members in our experiment have brought this up as well, which is they have some kind of abusive relationship, somebody controlling them, so to speak, or somebody that they really don't like, that they always are troubled. So when such a abusive relationship exists in your world, and let's say that you really cannot escape from this, maybe this is very a person who is very close to you, whether it's your parent or your partner or anything in with your career, even your boss, for example. So when such relationships exist that you really, let's say, can't escape from, you can again ask this question, which is what we call as adjustments in your energy. So, what adjustments can I make here that would actually let me live this life of freedom, right? Let's say at this moment in time, this abusive relationship or this kind of a controlling element really makes me feel suppressed rather than letting me feel the freedom. So, if I truly choose to be and feel that freedom, what adjustment in my energy do I have to make? Now, when you ask that question, usually when it comes to relationship, there could be certain things, certain actions that you might have to take, or certain things that you have to speak up. You might have to be ready to speak up for yourself. So, usually, such kind of relationship conflicts happen when we are not ready to speak up certain things in our relationship. We are not ready to say no to the other person. We are not ready to say, this is not acceptable, when you're not respecting me, for example. Something you might have to speak up, or some kind of action that you might have to do, which when you're not doing it, that's when the conflicting or the abusive relationship continues for a very long time, which literally feels like encapsulating us or putting us into a little, um, pressurizing us in a little box, so to speak. So, in order to have freedom, what adjustments should I make in my energy with this particular relationship? asking that question and functioning from that space really helps. If you want also hands-on support from us, you can join us in the experiment where we have the coffee meets, where we can also address some of these questions really deep. In this mini course, we are just giving you an overall idea of how this looks, but of course, we are aware that there are so many deeper layers within this. Over to you, Sabrina. Anything that you want to add on relationships and um, business career in general?
Yeah, no, I feel you have really covered it well because following the excitement might feel, or following where the energy points us to might feel like, oh, it's not possible in my life. If we are seem to be stuck or encaged in a situation that makes us feel very heavy and very uncomfortable. So you're listening to this, and maybe you are stuck in a situation. You might feel like, oh my God, I can never do that. I don't have any choices. I don't have any options. There's no opportunities for me to shift this around. But what happens is when we let go of that perspective, which is a very slow moving perspective, right? Even if you listen to me speak this, you feel like, oh yeah, I'm really stuck. It's very slow moving energy. But when we start saying, oh, even in the little things, I can start following my excitement, maybe the way I structure my morning, the way I have like look at the world as I go to work, the way I go about my things, even in the home where that heavy, not good relationship is happening, maybe then you have an opportunity to start letting the energy flow a little faster. And what usually happens is that when we kind of allow for, oh, maybe there is a choice that I will have. Maybe there is some excitement that I can find, some freedom, even if it's just a second of my day. That's when the energy can flow faster again, and we can see that things might be shifting around. And in a relationship, for example, that might mean for you to just play in your head, like, okay, what's the worst case scenario that could happen? Even with your business or your job, what is the worst thing that could happen? And what could I do if that were to happen? And you kind of just open yourself step by step, each day, one tiny step until you are ready to do what Vishnupriya just said, to follow your excitement with the tasks you do at work, maybe to even change your job or to start that business or to speak up in the household where you feel, oh, that's a horrible relationship. I can't really live like this any longer. The thing is that there's no right or wrong about slow moving or fast flowing energies. But when you want to follow the fast flowing energies, one day it will take you to a point where you might want to make a decision. Otherwise, the movie will just continue playing out. But once you are ready to make a decision and to take up that choice that you have in your life, that's when you will see something is changing. And it might be in a direction that you have never even expected. Over to you, Vishnupriya. Anything to add here?
Yes. So on that note, especially when it comes to, you might have heard us speaking about being in acceptance and accepting life exactly as it is. Now, I know some of us might kind of misunderstand that a little bit when it comes to relationships, because living a 5D life doesn't mean that we call this being a doormat, right? It doesn't mean that being a doormat, we let others stamp on us and still accepting that with a smile in our face is not what we call as 5D life. So 5D life doesn't have any kind of sacrifice, especially if somebody is disrespecting you. You are not expected to kind of let it run. Rather, once again, you look at it straight and you are like, okay, this relationship is caging me in. It doesn't give me the freedom that I would love to be. So, what changes? What adjustments can I make? Maybe I have to let go of this relationship. Maybe I have to, rather than staying in a so called group living as a relationships and relatives and people in my house, maybe I have to go live by myself. That was, let's say as an example, myself and my husband was in our family, living with our family, but then later we made the choice to live by ourselves and moved out of the house. So such kind of changes change of choices, change of life might be required, and there could be times where you have to make those decisions. So again, it's not a life simply where you're accepting others to kind of abuse you. Rather, you really speak up for yourself and you make the choice of what truly gives you the freedom and excitement in your life. Now, let's move on to the next area, major one, the health aspect. So, when it comes to health and our body, one of the things here again is we, from a 5D life perspective, we absolutely accept our body exactly as it is, whether it's big or small, or lean, or whatever color, or whatever type of hair we have. Again, I know there is a lot of this body image side of things that the wellness industry has created too many limited perspectives about. But from a 5D life perspective, when it comes to our body, it's part of the nature, right? When we look at an elephant and maybe a little mice, for example, they are made in those shapes by the nature for its own beauty. There is beauty in the diversity, right? So, therefore, similar to that, our human bodies are also created by nature in so many different varieties and so many different diversity. So, when you look into today's magazines and everything out there, which talks about this is how a perfect body should look like, there you would see the beauty in the diversity is not seen, right? So, when we look into the human body side of things, again, we look at it from beauty. There is beauty in diversity, all sorts of shapes and colors that our human bodies come in. There is beauty in all of that. Once we start seeing that, I feel we'll be really able to accept our body, and our bodies go through different transformation in different stages of our life. So we really cannot expect that my body has to be how it was at 20 years age. But again, understanding that by nature, our bodies are created in a way that it changes over time. And are we able to see the beauty in the diversity of our own body as well? At 20 years, I was like this. At 25, I was like this. At 35, I'm like this. I see diversity in my own body and I'm able to see the beauty in it, right? So that's how we admire the difference that comes from a human body perspective. Now, the next layer there is also food, the choice of food, which I see these days again as a big um, huge myth around what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. From a 5D life perspective, you absolutely eat, again, living in the present moment, whatever excites you, whatever you truly love. Again, you might be in different locations, you might be traveling. We really cannot expect or put a label that, oh, eating pizza is wrong or eating carbs is wrong or whatever the health industry speaks about. Rather, in that present moment, you might be standing at an airport and this is all the choices you have in front of you. So it's all about, okay, at this present moment, what do I really love, like grabbing, for example, and then just taking that and keep going. So again, choosing the food in that present moment, wherever you are, what are the different options you would have, and what really you feel like having. Understanding your body is simply a bunch of energy, and whatever food that you're taking in, whether it's a meat or carb or juice or coke or whatever it is, that is also just a bunch of energy. So it's really functioning from what does this bunch of energy require, right? It's as if one bunch of energy is just taking in another bunch of energy to energize itself, right? That's what eating food really means. So it's really functioning from that aspect of what does this energy require at this moment? What do I really feel like having? That's it. And just having it and going with the flow with food as well. The next element is any kind of pain and illness in our body, which again, we go into a lot of wrongness, which is, oh, having medicines is wrong, being ill for such a long time is wrong, having pain in body is wrong, and so many wrongness that, again, the world has created in our minds. In this aspect, 5D life is totally in acceptance of any kind of pain and illness that shows up in our body, understanding it's just slow moving energy flowing through us. And if we truly let it flow, automatically it will kind of flow out of our system. But we are not expecting it to go. We are just letting it flow, accepting it in that present moment. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have medicines, or we don't, let's say, go for healing, for example, in whichever direction. Rather, choosing that as well. Okay, I see that I have this kind of illness in my body. What do my body require at this moment? This could be having a particular medicine, or maybe going for a massage, or taking a healing session, or whatever it is, however it looks like, whatever you feel like doing. But again, not from a perspective of I have to fix it, I have to get rid of it, rather only from the perspective of what does this energy require, right? And not going into that too much expectations or trying to get rid of it. So that's my perspective around it. Over to you, Sabrina.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, Vishnupriya and myself had this discussion the other day around acceptance, because that's a big topic. As you can see, following your excitement is a lot also about acceptance. And we were like, okay, there's a difference in acceptance, right? When I accept that, oh, I'm currently feeling unwell, or oh, my body is looking the way it is, this is the shape of my body, there's a difference between you just tolerating it and kind of forcing yourself to say, oh, it's okay, I'm in acceptance of it, versus you truly just embrace it and see a beauty in it, right? Can accept that, okay, my body, my hair, my skin color, this is exactly how I look, this is beautiful. Or even if you decide to do sports, like for example, I do love yoga and also some type of workout, but I don't do it because I want my body to look differently. I actually do it because I enjoy it in the present moment. It makes me feel like, whoa, my energies are flowing super fast, right? So it's all a question of the kind of energy we are coming from. And there, the words tolerance versus acceptance can help us keep a check. Okay, am I just tolerating this illness, but deep down I still believe something is wrong with me because I have it? Or am I truly accepting it and then saying, okay, this is how my body is at the moment. I am unwell. What does this energy require, as Vishnupriya said? So you can have a good check with these two terms and see where you truly are, and that can guide you as to where you want to go as a next step. Because if you're just tolerating it, you're not yet in a space where you truly follow your excitement, where you truly follow that energy, where that energy is pointing towards. Vishnupriya?
Yes. So the final topic we would like to touch before we finish this video is the money, right? The money side of things, and which I know is a huge topic, but from a 5D life perspective, we handle or take it very lightly, which again we will cover a little bit of this in the upcoming videos. But for now, when it comes to the entire financial side of things, you again simply follow your excitement. And at this current moment, again, if you're in a business, for example, you just follow your excitement. You feel, okay, what is energy pointing me towards? And then taking those actions in your business, which can automatically, the more you are truly feeling that freedom in every present moment, the easier the energy of money can also flow through you. So it's really about just following the other aspects, which is following your excitement, experiencing that true freedom in every moment, living in the present moment. When all of these are put together, there is a easy flow to life that automatically comes, which will also allow that flow of money to automatically come through you, and also taking actions depending on what that energy leads you towards. Now, from the answers that we received from the COO, they said a statement which was like, in the 5D world, there wouldn't even be money, and it is not really used in a way how the 3D world uses it. So we are, I would say, from my perspective, I would say we are in this kind of transition stage. So money can shift and change as how we are using it or how the currency is in the future. But as we go through this transition process, all that we need to do is just continue following our excitement and charging the prices that we truly feel like charging, or whatever those money transactions are, just feeling that present moment, seeing what our energy is leading us towards, and then taking that action without judging yourself at a later time. Over to you, Sabrina.
Yes, and also looking again, I mean, this story has been there for a while now that energy in itself is also, money in itself is just also a flow of energy. But there's a lot of heaviness for us humans around money. You know, we feel like we have to hold on to it. And remember what we said in the first video, energy just has to flow. It can't be boxed in, it can't be labeled, it shouldn't be caged in, because the entire natural process is that energy has to flow so that it can be purified. So once you become very tense and, you know, like, oh, I have to hold on to this money because otherwise I might not have more or it will never be enough. These kind of very slow moving perspectives are like a loud, very high volume noise that keep you from tuning into where your energy is actually pointing you towards. So letting go of that fear of making a wrong decision around your money and really trusting that excitement feeling, that flow of free energy, and going with that will lead you to unexpected places also when it comes to your finances. Over to you, Vishnupriya.
Absolutely. So that's, in summary, what following your excitement means in all different areas of your life. If you do have specific questions, please do put in the comment below, and we are happy to create more deeper conversations on any of these different topics. Also, you can just join us in our coffee meets if you want to discuss a particular kind of issue happening in your life. So we are happy to contribute in that direction as well. That's it for this video. We are going to see you in our next video. Bye.
See you.